So right now, we move on to something else that looks at problems in big cities where artificial intelligence is used very effectively. And one of the things that we're finding is that telecommunications data used effectively in new ways and using artificial intelligence can really help cities and services plan transportation based on how people move around the cities. And to talk about this and to really show you how artificial intelligence works within the space of telecommunications data is a rising star and rising company in the space. We're very pleased to welcome onto the stage today the chairman and chief executive of a company that was started in Zurich that really looks at these issues. And the company is called Teralytics. So we'd like to bring onto the stage Georg Polzer. Where is George? George, we'd like to welcome you onto the stage. George. Grüezi.
Thank you.
Welcome. George, over to you. Tell us all about Teralytics.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. In order for an artificial intelligence system to become useful, we need to first train it with a lot of data. And with the arrival of AI and the widespread use of AI, and us humans handing over more and more decisions over to AI, I think it's time to take a step back and reflect which data we're actually using to train our AI systems. And I believe we need to use data to train our AI systems that represents the full spectrum of reality, not just a small subset. Data sets that represent and reflect the full reality, all aspects of it, we call inclusive data. Today I'm going to focus on one very specific subset of applying AI to a very specific problem, which is using AI to design transportation and mobility systems better. And also for that specific use case of applying AI to transportation and mobility, we need to make sure to use inclusive data that represents the mobility needs of everyone. I'm co-founder and chairman of Teralytics. Teralytics is a company that is applying artificial intelligence, leveraging a very specific data set, telecom network data, on a very specific problem, which is designing the future of mobility, of transportation, and of cities. And today I'll share with you why I'm so excited about the arrival of artificial intelligence and how it can help to design better transportation and better mobility services. We believe that AI trained by the right data can have a very, very strong positive impact on us as humanity. AI has had some rather bad headlines in the recent past, where people were saying AI is taking over the world from us humans. I have a more positive view on the impact that AI can have. And it is just important that we as humans focus on which data sets we're using to train the AI systems that we are then handing our decisions over. And in contrast to traditional algorithms, where we as humans are in the driver's seat designing the algorithm, AI is just built by the data we feed it. Let's just take a specific example from transportation and mobility. If I'm picking a data set that represents mobility of high income, of rich people, and I'm training an AI system how to design my city better, and the AI system learns, oh, this is how a subset of the population moves around, high income people move around, and then I take the AI system and ask the AI system, where should I build the next bus route? The AI system will answer, you shouldn't build a bus, right? Because it has been trained by high-income people who likely use their own car and the future of flying drone and not a bus. So this highlights the challenge that arises when you train AI with the wrong data. We at Teralytics, we are excited about the arrival of AI, and we are using inclusive data. We're using data that represents the mobility needs of everyone, sourced from telecom networks, to train AI systems, helping to design better transportation and mobility. And today I'm going to share three reasons with you, three areas with you where AI will have a very strong positive impact on mobility and the future of transportation when trained with inclusive data sourced from telecom network data specifically. The first great thing that will happen when we apply AI on an inclusive data set, such as telecom network data, we'll get you home faster. We are today wasting in the US 13 billion hours every year stuck in traffic. Imagine the damage caused by this stupid activity sitting in traffic, right? And you could spend time with your family instead. An ineffective bus route can be the difference between a job taken and getting a proper job and feeding your family. A lack of car sharing can lead to gridlocked cities. So leveraging AI with inclusive data will be able to achieve the goal of getting you home faster. The second reason why I'm so excited about the arrival of AI and the application of AI to transportation and mobility is as it helps to save lives. 2017 has been a year of natural catastrophes. In the US alone, we had economic damage of $300 billion US. And the year of 2018 we hope it will be better, but there's a high risk that it will be as bad as 2017. And using inclusive data to train AI systems that inform rescue efforts, that inform where do we need to deploy shelter and food at the right place, at the right time, where people are in need and not where their postal address is. That's the second reason why I'm excited about the arrival of AI trained by inclusive data. And then lastly, I believe training AI systems with inclusive data will result in actually creating a more equal society. And especially using telecom network data that represents the mobility need of everyone, no matter the income of that person, no matter whether this person uses an iPhone or an old feature phone. The data that we can get from the mobile network and train AI systems that help us design the future of mobility and transportation will help us create more equal access to transportation and help to create a more equal society. Let me go into the details of each of these aspects, each of these three reasons why I'm so excited about the arrival of AI. The first one is getting you home faster. Until now, transportation and cities have been designed by humans. They've been designed by gut feeling, by experience, right? Oh, from my experience as a city planner, I know where this bridge needs to be, or I know where this bus route needs to be, or where this new mobility service or car sharing service needs to be launched. And in some cases, surveys has been used on a small biased subset of the population. We think with the arrival of artificial intelligence and leveraging telecom network data specifically, we can build a better future where artificial intelligence helps us design where to build the next bus route, where to build the next bridge. And Al brought with me an example of where we at Teralytics, we are applying that. In this case, this is Singapore, where we are helping the transport operator there to get you home faster, get the citizens of Singapore and the visitors to Singapore home faster. What you're seeing here is a complex chart, and let me quickly walk you through what you're seeing here. Every line on this chart represents a train, and a train moving from a station from the left to the right over time from top to bottom. And you can very quickly see irregularities in this pattern here, right? And these irregularities are train delays. What you're seeing here are trains detected by an artificial intelligence system that is leveraging nothing else than telecom network data, anonymized telecom network data that is being streamed in real time from the telecom backbone, if you will, from the network. And the AI system has been trained to detect how does a train look like when it moves from one station to the next one. And with this, it can observe very quickly where are issues in the system and where should the system recommend the transport operator to fix issues to achieve the goal of bringing you home faster by, for example, injecting an additional train or by other operational measures to slowing down or speeding up a train. And one interesting aspect I want to highlight here on this chart is you notice on the left one these yellow lines, which is one specific train line. On the right-hand side is another train line colored in red. And you see a very clear difference in terms of the regularity of these trains going from one station to the other. I can tell you the reason why that is the case. On the left side, we have a train system that is run by a machine, by a computer, by a simple version of AI, if you will. The right side, you guessed it, this is a train line run by humans. So much more irregular and many more delays caused by humans. So this is, I'm also excited about this example because in a sense, this is an artificial intelligence system built by Teralytics observing another AI system operating a train. We can, of course, also overlay the number of people in each train between each station. Again, all based on real-time data sourced from the mobile network. And I'm just repeating myself here, but this is clearly inclusive data, right? The people we are observing, our AI system observes, this is anonymized telecom data representing the poor, the rich, the old, the young, and in their mobility need, and informing the transport operator how to get these people home faster. Another analysis we can do is first mile, last mile. How long does it take you traveling from your home to the next subway stop, and vice versa, from your subway stop to home? You quickly can see issues here where you have longer travel times than hoped for and expected, where you, as a transport operator, you can deploy buses, bike sharing, car sharing, and other measures to cut down on the first mile and last mile travel times. And then the third example, this is the unable to board metric, we call it, which is the question, and you've probably experienced this when you were in a big city like London, for example. You're on a platform, you wait for a train to arrive in the rush hour. The train is so full, you can't board the train. You need to wait 1 train, 2 trains, until you can finally board a train, right? And we can observe this, again, based on anonymized telecom network data, and we can understand how many people have to wait on a platform and can't board a train. Very important information for the transport operator to help fix that very quickly and get you home faster. The second reason why I'm excited about the arrival of AI, and that's why, because I think AI can help save us lives. 2017 has been a year of natural catastrophes. And when disaster strikes, people are fleeing from their home, right? They're fleeing away from the flood, from the fires, from the earthquake. And the shelter and food that the rescue organizations are providing needs to be provided at the right place, at the right time, in the moment where people need it, and not where their postal address is. And right now, there's very little data available to inform the rescue efforts of Red Cross and FEMA and other organizations. And telecom data is a fantastic source to understand how people move around, of all different income levels, of all different demographics, where they're going, where they're fleeing to, where's shelter and food to be provided in real time. Clearly here also the inclusive aspect of telecom data is key, right? When you provide shelter, you want to provide shelter and food to everyone. And I want to show you one example of Hurricane Harvey hitting the Texan coast last summer. You probably all read this in the news. This was a huge storm devastating the southern coast of Texas. And let me quickly explain what you're seeing here. This is a difference, a mobility graph, basically. You see blue arrows which show an increase of mobility, of movement of people between different counties in Texas. So you, down at the bottom on the coast, you see this blue dot. That's the area around Houston. You see these blue areas over there, which is on the, maybe I'll try to show this here. This is the San Antonio-Austin area, and then up there you have Dallas. And let me just walk you through this week running up to the Hurricane Harvey hitting the coast. And we see blue arrows which show an relative increase of mobility relative to the Tuesday the week before. The orange arrows show decrease of mobility versus the same day the week before. This is Wednesday. Increased activity down there in Dallas. In Houston on the coast. And we start now on Thursday, we start to see people leaving the coast and increased activity also up there in Dallas. We have the landfall, and let me just compare the 2 days, right? This is Thursday, this is Friday. This is the day of the first landfall of the Hurricane Harvey on August 25th on the Texan coast. You see lots of people actually have left the coastal areas. They've left Houston. They've all moved up to Dallas up there. And again, this is all measured based on anonymized telecom network data that we are sourcing from a telecom network in the US. And we can understand how people are moving around and where the rescue efforts around a hurricane, in case of a hurricane, need to be deployed. In this case here, definitely not necessarily in the coastal areas, but much more somewhere in the inland. And interestingly, you also see not only Houston impacted, but also, for example, the more further inwards, like San Antonio, Austin area, being basically completely free of people because people have left the area and because the hurricane has hit there. So summarizing, this is the second reason why I'm excited about the arrival of AI, because we can use it to help us save lives if the AI system has been trained on inclusive data representing the needs of everyone. The third reason why I'm so excited about the arrival of artificial intelligence is that I believe we can create, with the help of artificial intelligence, we can actually create a more equal society. The self-driving train example I showed you before, right, where you saw a very clear difference between the human-driven train and the machine-driven train, there's not much concern around the way you drive, the AI system drives the train, whether this makes this society more equal or less equal. But we start to actually leverage AI also for cases where this question becomes important. For example, when you ask an AI system to design the next bus route, to design the next bridge, to design the next city. And in these cases, it's important that we are training the AI system with data that represents the mobility need of all different parts of the population, of the rich, of the poor, of the black, of the white, of the old, of the young. And if we do that, then we can leverage the full benefit that artificial intelligence has over us humans. And we should be honest, right? I mean, we as humans, we are biased. We are biased by our experiences, and we are biased by our cultural backgrounds. And we as humans get tired, right? If we analyze a lot of data, we need to sleep, right? We as humans can't keep all data points that are necessary to inform, for example, it's a complex question like how to design a city. We can't keep these data points in our heads at the same time. This is why I believe we should leverage artificial intelligence to help build a more equal society. And I've mentioned before, I'm particularly excited about the combination of telecom network data as an inclusive data source to train artificial intelligence to help build more equal access to transportation and mobility, and then also in turn help to create a more equal society. And just to visualize again the depth and the breadth of this data, I brought with me a short video just giving you a taste for the kinds of data we are processing and we're using to inform how we design the future of mobility with the future of self-driving cars, with the future of self-flying cars eventually. And this is, for example, Zurich here. You see this is Orlando, US, with data. The great thing about telecom data really is that the kinds of signals you can capture from people moving between cell towers, it doesn't matter whether you carry an iPhone or you carry an old feature phone. This data is as useful no matter from which phone it comes from, to inform which mobility needs people have, right? And how do I serve mobility and transportation in a way that addresses the needs of everyone? And this is across, I showed Europe, I showed the US, I showed Hong Kong, and you also see here an example from even Gabon, where we've processed data that helps to build towards the goal of creating more equal society. So let me just summarize. With the arrival of artificial intelligence trained by inclusive data, we are able to get you home faster, we're able to save lives, and we are able to create a more equal society. The good news is AI is not taking over the world, right? The opposite is true. Humans are still very much in the driver's seat by choosing which data sets we're using to train our AI system. Let's hold ourselves accountable to choose the inclusive kind of data to train the next generation of artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
George, now I understand why you're in the Forbes 30 under 30.
Thank you.
You created this company when you were at university in Zurich,
yes,
at ETH.
That's
and
right.
Just really is interesting. A couple of questions for you. First of all, with mobile telecoms companies collecting vast amounts of data, billions of amounts of data, Would you say that this is a good characterization, that carrier data is very big but very even?
Yes.
How does that help you in terms of gathering all of the data, and how do you extrapolate so that you can get a really good and accurate picture of flow, movement, and so forth?
Sure, happy to share that. So the great nature about telecom data is that it's basically always on in the background, right? The telecom network needs to know where every phone is in order to route the next data packet or the next call to it, right? And this has in turn then the result that the telecom network understands where every phone is every given moment, and the telecom network doesn't discriminate in terms of how it routes the packets, thankfully, right? It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't route the phone call faster to someone who's paying more. It routes the phone call to everybody the same way. And this is a great reason then that if we tap into this data and inform the future of transportation and mobility design, that this data is indeed representing all different groups of population, right? Every big carrier has enough market share, right? Also to your question towards extrapolation, every carrier has enough market share among every different income level, among every different ethnicity to represent the mobility needs of everyone. And then if we are extrapolating to the full population equivalent, we'll always have the sufficient sample size among each of these groups to have then provide information to the future of mobility services, to the future of transportation, and serve these services in the right moment at the right time to everybody, not only the rich or only the male, etc.
The final point, just wanted to ask you, all of this data that's collected is effectively scrubbed, it's made anonymous.
Yes.
It's under the strict privacy rules, certainly in the European Union, Germany in particular.
Yes.
But on a global basis, this is all anonymized data, correct?
Absolutely, yes. So we are not interested in any individual people. We don't run any advertising to them. We only aggregate them to groups of people and then inform mobility operators and transportation operators how to design the systems better based on this aggregated, anonymized data. And this is all, I mean, we're running in Germany, for example, this has all been approved also even by the German data privacy regulator, which we all know is one of the strictest one, if not even the strictest one in the world.
So I can tell my mother-in-law that you're not going to be watching her when she does her shopping.
Not at all.
In London or in Germany or in Switzerland or in Beijing.
Not at all. Don't worry.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, Georg Polzer from Teralytics.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.